Hey, Mortgage Coach community, Dave Savage again. It's only been a couple days. Back with Danny Horanyi. What's up, Danny?
Hey, Dave.
Good. So last time I had you on this video interview, we were talking about strictly how to get more realtor referrals, how to
hmm
crush it with realtors, and you know before we were talking about that, we were doing the prep. You brought up how you're using Mortgage Coach and the total cost analysis, whether it's an annual review or it's a trigger alert, like your database says, hey, this person
Yep.
qualifies and is likely to benefit from a refi. You were talking about how one, have organized your data, and two, how you're proactively sending out total cost analysis. And I just think coming into the end of the year, a lot of Mortgage Coach leaders are doing annual reviews.
hmm
So one, I want you to tell everybody what you do. And then two, I want to pull a script out because I think what you're doing and how you're doing it makes a lot of sense to me.
Absolutely. So, uh, I mean, this time of year, end of year, I mean, I know in our last conversation, we talked a lot about the power of the fourth quarter, how you can take advantage of the fourth quarter to really propel yourself into the next year and be way ahead of your competition starting in January. And using this time where it does tend to get a little bit slower for us in the mortgage community, using this time to structure any sort of database marketing strategy. So an annual review at its core is really just a database marketing strategy. You're trying to add value to the people that already know you and already like you. And it just happens to be, from our perspective, the easiest one because it actually does provide them with a lot of insight, something that they don't know that they probably should be thinking about as they are going about their lives. And we say in our initial interview before they get the loan a couple things. One is that we like to integrate the mortgage into the financial plan, and that financial plan is ongoing. So doing an annual review allows us to revisit whatever those strategies were. And another thing we like to say is that our job's not to get you into debt; it's to get you out of it. And that's something that the total cost analysis really helps to provide impact around because we can do things like adjusting the amortization term, showing them what adding $100 a month to your payment does in terms of freedom point. So the annual review gives us an opportunity to reinsert ourselves into that planning position, wearing your planner hat to say, hey, I know we already just did a mortgage with you, but let's talk about what it would look like in the future for you to take some future action that we could help you with or give you advice around. In January, February, they're going to be doing their taxes. If they did the mortgage with you in 2017, that planning, that annual review can involve emailing them their settlement statement or closing disclosure that they can then, have for their appointment. Again, it's just thinking, okay, if I was this person, how would I want to be interacted with in order to have the professional that I chose, that I hired, be relied upon in the future, right? To remind them
Right.
that they make a good choice, right? So very, very powerful thing that we started implementing was doing a pre-refi total cost analysis. And the way that looks is we're not in a refi market right now, today, right? But there's a lot of kind of black swans or shoes that could drop, dominoes that could hit each other in the marketplace, like tax reform or geopolitical events that are, you hear a lot of chatter about them. Hey, the Eurozone it's boring to talk about the Greek debt crisis, but it's not done. It's just boring. So we don't hear about it a lot, right? But there's all things like that are happening in the world that could cause rates to go down at any point, right? And here's the pain that we felt that we needed to respond to. So rates dropped and we went to our database and we said, all these people can refinance. Let's start calling them. We would go through, build the refinance total cost analysis, deliver it out to the client, and a couple things would happen. In a lot of cases, we would convert, which is great. But in other cases, sorry, we already refied with somebody else. In other cases, oh my gosh, rates just went up, and there's 20% of our database that we didn't get to because we just didn't have time, right? We weren't proactive, we were being reactive, and so we only had time to produce so many conversations because we were building them ad hoc in the moment, right? So the pre-refi total cost analysis goes out and it says, hey client, this is what your loan looked like when we closed. Here's what a no cost refi or a no points refi would look like. This is what you should say yes to. It's 0.25% lower and your break-even point is X, And when we get to this point, I'm going to call you. But if you think you're at this point for any reason, call me. Or if you're curious, call me, right? So now we have the reticular activation system that sees information in the universe and makes it relevant to us, right? And now we're saying, when you see this type of information, it's associated with me, not with the internet advertisement that you saw that created that initial trigger, right? And here's the other power behind it. When that day comes, right, where rates did drop to that point, we already have it built. So we probably tweak it a little bit, but then all of that energy in that short window of time that we have, we're maximizing the leverage around that very small window of rate advantage so that we're not wasting that time building out TCAs before having those consultations.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you are creating clients for life. You know, you use the total cost analysis at the point of sale to help them buy their home. You use the total cost analysis in what you guys call your pre-refi consultation so that they're trained. They know that you have this, you know, platform. They know that you will update it. You've told them what the triggers are. And now when the day comes, you're just updating these things and they are just efficiently and effectively doing business with you. And let's face it, over the course of 2018, there will be windows of time that will make sense for you. And then also for all of you that are just like, you know, you're not willing to play the short game for the long game, because that's what these guys are doing. They're making some short-term investments for some long-term gains. I interviewed Rick Shear this week. He was our, $100 million producer out of Boston. And you're going to love this, Danny, and you guys might be doing this, but he is emailing out all of his past customers for annual reviews. And he's putting a link. He uses Schedule One. A lot of Mortgage Coach users use calendaring. And I can't remember the exact scripting, but by the way, I interviewed him. He put a sample of his email in our Facebook group. The scripting is in the call from the other day. But it's basically like, hey, it's that time of year. You know, I would love to meet with you, go through your goals, make sure you have the right mortgage. Feel free to schedule an appointment with me at your will. And they're 15-minute meetings. And they're just, and he's saying that literally 11% of the people that he sends this email to, they're scheduling a 15-minute meeting. And so, you know, he's doing these 15-minute meetings. And again, he's got a team. So he's not solving paperwork problems. He's not running transactions. He's biz dev guy. And then he's having 15-minute conversations. And some of those, but listen to this, Danny. So his goal in those conversations, yes, some of them turn into cause-driven loans. Some of them turn into move-ups. But one of his goal is, who's your financial planner? You know, do you like them on a scale of 1 to 10? Who's your CPA? Do you like them on a scale of 1 to 10? And I can't remember what the odds are. I just interviewed him. One, he's getting meetings with referral partners out of these calls. Two, he's getting purchase loans. He's not getting a lot of refis right now, but obviously that changes. And all he did was just automatically have his team send out emails, and they're just clicking a button and scheduling 15-minute meetings with them. I don't know.
Epic.
Do you like
that's
that?
Epic. I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
So proactive for long term. So right now we're in the holidays. Meet with your realtors. Have mortgage coach conversations. Meet with your best past customers. And connect with them. Thank them for doing. By the way, how many people do you have that have referred multiple people to you? Would it be a good idea to get on the call and have a 15-minute conversation with them, with your best customers during the holiday, and do a mortgage checkup and get a referral partner? Is that a good use of time? I don't know. I think so.
Current client referrals are so powerful too, because it gives you an opportunity to. I mentioned stewardship in our last conversation, right? So let's say, referral partner refers you, Joe Smith, and then a year, 2 years later, Joe Smith can refer you, Sally Homebuyer, and you're able to then go back to your original referral partner and say, hey, I've been nurturing Joe Smith this whole time. And guess what? Realtors suck at database management, right? They're not. For the most part, they suck at it, right? So if you're nurturing their past clients for them, I mean, you get a massively sticky relationship when they come back and realize that the value that you can have for their business by maintaining all those people at a high level.
Yeah. So by the way, everybody connect the dots on that. Not only are you, convincing and can you deliver a better conversion at the point of sale, but now you're managing a client for life. So how valuable would it be if you came back to one of your agents and said, "Hey, I talked to the Jones family the other day. They told me blank and blank. They referred me to their financial planner who I've got a meeting with, and I'll be sure to bring your name up when I talk to them." Would realtors like that? I think realtors would like that. So, all right. So, hey, there's no excuse not to be doing at least 8 loans a month. And then you just got to get a team to scale beyond that. So, Danny, I really appreciate this time. If you could send me a total cost analysis that would represent an annual review, so we can put
Yeah.
that down below. And
Hmm.
also for anybody that's like, what's an annual review? I'm going to put a link to an interview I did with Todd Bookspan on that. And I'm going to put a link to the call this Tuesday with Rick Scherer. So if you
Awesome.
don't know how to do an annual review, there's a couple homework assignments that will help you do that. So, Danny, thank you very much, brother. I really appreciate you.
Anytime, Dave. You got it, man. Talk to you later.
All right, everybody. And be sure to like this if you got value and share it with your mortgage friends. Take care, everybody.